So let's just start the, I'll share my screen and then we can start. Can you all see the agenda?
Yes.
Yeah, thank you. So I'll start with the public forum announcement. Those interested are invited to address the Hope Suicide Prevention Task Force on any subject not on today's agenda, orally via Zoom webinar. Instructions are above. Speakers may provide their name and city of residence for the record, and comments may be limited to 3 minutes or less at the discretion of the meeting coordinator. As an item not listed on the agenda, no response is required from the city staff or the Hope Suicide Task Force, and no action shall be taken.
Charu, you don't have any guests. It's just the members of the
okay, thanks for checking that. And our first update is from Jay. I don't know if Jay is here. Jay, are you here?
He's not.
He's not? Okay, then maybe I should just go to my item.
Sounds good.
So I just have a very brief update. We are going to have one town hall for adults in English. It will be facilitated by AKI staff, Asian Americans for Community Involvement, on May 17th, and it's going to be in the evening. I'll make sure to share the flyer with everyone. And then our second item, which we want to focus on today.
Actually, may I interrupt?
Yeah.
Jay is here, so
Jay is here.
Yeah,
sorry.
He just signed on. Hi, Jay.
Hi, Jay.
Hi, Charu. Hi, Tegan. How are you guys?
Good.
Good. Sorry, I didn't see you come in. I'm sharing the screen, so it's really hard to see everyone.
No worries.
But I'm glad you're here. So any update?
Yeah, so Charu, actually, I saw you on one of the sessions that I was moderating. So just to be pretty quick about it, we had our suicide prevention conference, the second day of it yesterday. Tegan, I think you might have been there as well, but I don't.
No, I didn't.
Okay. Yeah, so it was great. We had some technical issues with Zoom, which it was our first time doing in a virtual conference, but it went really well. Otherwise, our presenters were fantastic. We had Sherry Terrell gave opening remarks. And then we had Dr. Joyce Chu give a keynote. And then we had some presentations from Stanford, Valley Medical Center, the county Q corner for LGBTQ. So we covered, means restriction, crisis response, trauma, and grief. And the theme was cultural humility, which was all of our presenters did a really good job of basically working in how the cultural competency part of their work factored into whatever specifically they were presenting on. So we were really happy with it. We just debriefed about it earlier today. So thanks to everybody who was there. We had, I want to say, close to 200 register. I'm not sure exactly what the actual numbers were, if there are any duplicates, but I think we had between 100 and 150 there, at least on week one. So that's our biggest update, and we're very happy about that. The second item that I could update on is that we're going to put out our newsletter later this week just to commemorate Mental Health Awareness Month. So we do put out our newsletter every month, but this one is a particularly special one that we're going to highlight, just being May Mental Health Awareness Month, with some special events and resources. And then this Friday, you all put together the post-vention safe messaging training with Mego and Joy. So that's going to be really a really good training. We've worked on that training in the past, and we've sort of fine-tuned it upcoming for Milpitas and renewed some things about it. So we're excited. That's our up.
That's great. We're going to have a big crowd for them when they do their presentation, I think.
Do you know how many by chance?
I don't know how many. I know that most of our communications team from different departments is coming. School districts looks like they're sending people. I believe police has shared it with other police PIOs in the area. So we may be reaching beyond Milpitas and having some of the other agencies, police PIOs there. So yeah, but it's going to be good.
That's excellent. Actually, also just to go back one thing to our conference, Vic, I don't think Vic is on right now, but Vic gave the closing remarks and it was excellent. But Tegan, that's really good news. I'll have to update Megan or Mego and Joy on that, because the more the merrier, and the more that we can get that training out there. That's a really big part of my work, especially the safe messaging stuff. That makes me happy.
Yeah, me too.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jay. And I also shared the Zoom link with everyone on our task force. So if anyone wants to jump in, it's only 1 hour.
Excellent.
Yep. So moving on to our next one, which we want to spend most of our time today. We have about 30 minutes, I would say. So last time we all put together some of these priorities. So I think this meeting, we want to focus on picking 3 out of these 7. So if we can spend some time just going through this list and seeing what really resonates with you, and what's really important for the community in the coming year.
And Charu, before we get started, may I just add that while we want to focus this task force on 3, it doesn't mean that the others on the list won't happen. It just, some of them may fall to staff to do without you guys actively participating in them, or some of them may just wait until we've completed another one. But I think we want to have this group, 3 is a good number for this group to focus on at any given time.
Yeah. Thank you, Tegan, for clarifying that. And also, do you want to point out the ones that we discussed on the list that could be just the staff could do it?
Sure, I could point those out. Specifically, number 2 with the Zoom mental health check-ins, Charu has 2 great new interns, and so that is something that is probably a thing that we could handle internally. Providing the resources in other languages is also something that we could probably handle internally. Some of the others we could go either way. Positive messaging, it would be great to have members of this group, if they're interested, be a part of a work group to come up with those positive messages and a plan for that. But that's also something that staff could do independent of this group if the group has other things they want to focus on. The survey of mental health needs is something that staff sort of is already doing in terms of social services. Include more on the mental health need. This group wasn't wanting to focus on that right now, or if the group wants to, then certainly you guys can help with that. The outreach to different groups, veterans, the AAPI community, those are definitely things that we think would be best with the group's participation, if that's something that you choose to do. Public safety partnership is probably one that can go either way. Certainly we work closely with the police department, and Tyler Jameson is on with us today. And so we have police representation on this group, and we'll continue to work with them closely. But if the group would like to take that on, that would also be great to have you guys weigh in with some of the ways that we might partner based on what you've seen in other cities and stuff like that. But really, it's open for you guys to tell us what is of most interest and of most need in the community that you notice right now.
Again, just as a matter of curiosity, I thought somebody was in your group was going to reach out to the Veterans Commission.
So we did, and Liliana Ramos has joined our group. She's the chair of the Veterans Commission right now. So Liliana, you want to address that?
Yes, I mean, we could make it part of this. we're also going to be discussing it in the Veterans Commission. So that one can go either way. If you want the Veterans Commission to work on it first, and then, because outreach to our veterans has been something that we've been trying to do. So we can definitely work on that and then bring it back to Hope for this piece.
Yeah. And I think if I may add, Liliana, we did get your email, and I think we just have to work out some protocols. And
Oh, that email. Okay.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
So
we're doing that with the Veterans Commission too.
Okay.
So
yeah. So I think we can work in the background a little bit more, and then just bring it to the task force maybe next time. Yeah.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
And I'm also open to suggestions for Zoom mental health check-ins. If your agencies have done something like that, or if there are any ideas that you would like us to incorporate, I think I'm open to all the advice and something that me and my interns can work towards.
I really think the public safety partnership is a good idea. That's just my sort of input, because it seems to be the trend in the county with the crisis intervention training and mobile crisis response teams, and especially if we have this new police presence, if there's a way to even start coordinating with other cities that have recently done it and seeing like, hey, what did you all do? What was your first step? I know down south in Morgan Hill with that, and then also the city of San Jose with their pilot program. Could just be a good way to start some dialogue and say, what's the first step into making a partnership successful?
I agree with Jay, and I also wanted to add the AAPI community outreach. Not quite, I think that community really needs support right now without everything that's going on, that I'm wondering if that's something that we can look into.
And some of these could work, if we, for example, if we picked up the AAPI community outreach and we did it for first 3 months, and say in December we wanted to pick another topic, we could always, as a task force, decide to do that. So yeah, it doesn't have to be the all year around, and then we finish it in 3 months and then we have nothing to do. No, we can pick up other things to do. So it looks like we have 2.
So we've also got, I'm not sure if anyone is seeing it, but the chat, Father Mize and Marcia.
Okay.
AAPI and public safety, Robert says, and Marcia indicated her mic isn't working, but the multiple languages are important as well as public safety.
I definitely also second Liliana and Marcia and Pastor Mize on that. The AAPI, I think, if anything, might even be sort of the top option in terms of time, because it's very, very present right now.
Right. Yeah.
For the rest of you, as we assign work groups and people get involved in helping out, what are the areas that you would personally feel like you could contribute?
What other areas what old work groups are going to still be going? That will help too.
Well, I think Postvention has accomplished everything that it initially said that it wanted to do. Diversity could keep going in a fashion. We've done some of the things that that group wanted to do. I think the most notable accomplishment that was identified last year that hasn't been done is getting good representation from the LGBTQIA plus community and teens and transitional youth. I think they had some stuff that they were still working on and wanted to continue on.
Yeah, I've been having difficulty finding an individual that might represent the LGBTQ community. I had some individuals identified and I just kept striking out as I tried to get a commitment. And I'm not sure what other alternatives to try at the moment, but I haven't given up yet.
Tom, that might solve itself naturally because Charu, as part of our social services programs, is starting a LGBTQ plus social and support group. And so I think that that group is going to be more active within our other programs. And so you might naturally come across folks who would like to participate.
Yeah, I think that I do have some members in the community who are actively participating now, but as we move forward, I'm sure we can try to get somebody from that group to participate in our Hope meeting or help us with the LGBTQ plus outreach and other efforts.
I see, Marcia, you asked if we had reached out to MHS for Milpitas High School for LGBTQ representation. We haven't specifically reached out for LGBTQ. We did reach out for teen participation. So that might be worth another shot. And I see Sandra indicated in the chat that someone from Q Corner or Youth Space might be good to add as well.
Yeah, sometimes the invitation has gone out to the Q Corner. I think it's just because sometimes they have a conflict with this meeting, but I can reach out again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have a question. How many and this is Nick. Hi, everybody.
Hi, Nick.
Hi.
How many people are we looking for? Because I myself am part of this community, but I am a very inconsistent member here. So I noticed that and I apologize, but it's just sometimes life happens.
Sure.
And work is really busy, but are we looking for more than one person? I could also help in trying to find somebody to be a little bit more consistent. What's the need is really my question.
I think what we're looking for is somebody who can help us reach the LGBTQ community and basically connect us. So you certainly would be a great person to help us connect, but if you have somebody else who you think is able to attend more frequently that you would like to suggest, that would be great too. So.
Yeah, so what I could do, I'm part of the Santa Clara County LGBTQ service provider meeting, and I can kind of share this there.
Oh,
I would
great.
still probably attend and try to give my input as best as I can, but I like I said, I'm pretty busy with work and school. So I don't want to, volunteer myself and then not make the commitment or meet the commitment. But yeah, so I could definitely share that there. We meet, I think, one Monday out of the month. And so we'll see if anybody's interested. And if they are, then I'll connect them with Charu. And
Yeah.
That would be great. Thank you, Nick.
That would be great. Yeah.
So I see, Sandra, you raised your hand for working with the teens, transitional youth, and possibly the AAPI outreach. And so thank you very much for being the first to raise your hand and volunteer for one of these. Are there other folks who have a passion for one and would like to jump onto a future work group in one of these areas, or even one of the past work groups if it continues, the diversity work group or the teens transitional youth?
I'll be glad to help with the AAPI.
I can't see everybody's faces at the same time, so I'm not sure who that was just now.
That
That's
Liliana.
Liliana. Okay, thank you.
I think we might, at the county, we might be able to help with the AAPI. Evelyn Quintanilla made some inroads with that community recently, and they actually presented at the conference. So we might have some connections to help out with the AAPI.
Thanks, Jay. That's great information. Anybody else? We had some interest in the public safety partnership as a new potential priority. Any folks that speaks to that would want to volunteer and help on that part? Thank you. I see Pastor Mize stepped up for that one.
It's like Marcia as well for the public safety partnership.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
sure too.
Thank you so much. Great. So what I'm hearing is it sounds like we need a new work group for AAPI and a new work group for public safety. Is there an interest in having a third new work group? The other one that sort of rose to the top that you mentioned was the other languages, but of course, from a printed material standpoint, staff can certainly help there, getting those resources in the other languages. So I don't know if we need a work group for that one. But we have, veterans outreach and positive messaging, the other things that
With the veterans outreach, I thought we were waiting on that to see.
see what the commission does.
Does, yeah.
Okay.
Then Bryant said, more than happy to help with either AAPI or public safety.
Great. Anybody else? Well, this is a great start. Don't you think so, Charu?
Yeah,
we
I think it's a good start. And I'm also thinking I'll pull in Cassie's staff to help out a little bit with Zoom mental check-ins.
Mhm.
And no, I think we have a great representation in some of these groups. And I know the pressing need looks like AAPI. So we should, put
Get that
together.
one going
Yeah,
soon. Yes, I agree.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
good. Well, thank you all for your input on that. I think that's great.
Did anyone have any thoughts on if we wanted to do a survey? Or do you think what the topics that we've picked is good right now? And then maybe do a mid-year survey later on and see if things are working?
I thought that the survey was sort of ongoing. That was my understanding.
It is
Yeah, so-
ongoing after, sorry.
We do have the ongoing staff survey, which asks about it. It doesn't focus exclusively on mental health needs and the things that Hope is concerned with, but it will certainly pick up information that will help us
That's right.
So we can sort of see how that goes for the first bit, and Charu, what kind of information we're getting back on the survey that staff is conducting, and that might be sufficient. And
Well, I'm
then
wondering
back to here.
if there's a kind of like a draft of the survey or something, if we could send it around to the group, and then we can all sort of maybe even noodle on like coming up with a couple questions that would serve Hope within that survey.
Mhm.
Yeah, sure.
That's a
I
good
can.
idea.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah, I'm working on the survey. Tegan just sent in some edits for me, so I'll finalize something in a few weeks and send it around
Yeah, I think that's
by next week. Yeah.
a good way of going about it and like kind of weaving it in as it's already happening.
Right. It's more mostly social services focused survey, but I did have one mental health question on there, and we can always elaborate on that if task
Okay.
force wants to. Yeah. So I think we'll have we picked pretty good topics going forward. What I can do is send emails around, and then if some people haven't decided which group they want to be in, maybe if you need more time, you can always put your name down.
Mhm.
I'll put myself in AAPI community outreach because I think I'll be doing a lot of that work. So
That sounds great. We can probably sort, I want to be mindful of our time.
yes.
So,
So we can continue this discussion via email, or we can come back in June with some ideas around those two groups. I know we have to end a little bit early, so should we move on, or do we need a few more minutes on this?
I think we've got a lot of good information to work with here.
Yeah.
So I think you can move on.
Okay. So looks like the post-vention group taken is done, right? The post-vention.
The post-vention group has accomplished all the things that they identified they wanted to with the presentation that's coming up on Friday. That will be the last item on their list.
Okay. So we'll keep the diversity and the teen transitional youth and try to fit the ones that we have created into those groups, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Right. Make new groups for AAPI and yeah. And
Yeah.
for the public safety partnership.
Yeah. And also LGBTQ youth and other community members, if we can get some.
Right. That would be in the diversity group. I think that one's going to continue.
Yeah, that's one. Yeah, that and teen transitional youth group is going to continue, right?
Right. A and C would continue, and then we would add 2 new ones.
Yes. Perfect. So any future agenda items, please feel free to email me. But next meeting is scheduled for Tuesday, June 8th. Same time, 4 p.m.
Do we have any updates from the teen group? John?
Tegan and the rest of work group, feel free to chime in. Just a couple things. We met last week. We narrowed down our town hall /forum/huddle, whatever we decide to call it. Instead of doing it bi-monthly, we're going to aim to do that quarterly with our first one this upcoming fall. And we thought the first theme would be just transitions. So just the youth transitioning back to school. But we also talked about, and I think Marcia contributed this as far as reaching the younger youth for select activities, and also the parents. So we're looking at it through that perspective as well. And then our second bucket item is resources. So we're going to work to get resources out to the different schools, and Sandra maybe we can chat offline about how we can do that. But that's our main goal for this summer. And then continuing to work with Jasmine Lopez at the county in partnership with different trainings. So those are the main items. Anthony or Marcia, Pastor Mize, I miss anything?
I think you got it all, John. I'm looking at my notes now.
Okay, and Sandra said sounds good. So John, I do have a question though about the huddle town halls. Are they different from mental health town halls that we're doing? I know the focus will change in those town halls too, from mental health support during COVID to transition.
Well, we haven't really dug that deep yet, Charles. So we could certainly chat to make sure that we're not replicating any style or any information.
Right. So loop me in if you can. I would,
Certainly.
yeah, loop me in, please.
Okay.
I think moving forward, as schools open up in September, that will be the need of the day, like focusing more on transition and getting back in person. Yes.
Exactly.
Any other updates before we end the meeting?
Now, since we're not meeting face to face anymore, I've kind of lost track of who's a member of our group and who's been added, who has gone by the wayside, etc. Would it be possible to publish a list and maintain a list of who the persons are that are part of this group and what particular where their particular interest might lie, or why they happen to be a member of the group, or at least what they expressed when they became members, or why they were asked to become members. I've even forgotten myself.
That's a great idea. We can certainly share the roster again. I don't know if you guys have discovered, but there's actually 2 Hope pages on the city's website. One is more focused for the public on resources and things like that. And the other one is about this group. And that page about the task force does include the members.
Oh, it does. Okay.
It does, and it includes affiliations. I will have to see if it's as up to date as it should be. And this is a perfect excuse to look at that and make sure that it's up to date. So thank you, Tom.
Now I demonstrated the fact that I haven't been on the website.
Well, we've recently updated it, so you maybe were on it just before we updated or something, but I will take a look and send you that information. Yeah.
And maybe we can do intros or some kind of an icebreaker exercise, something before we start the next physical year, just to refresh our, memory. So our next meeting will be June 8th, 4 p.m.
Good.
Thank you all. Thank you.
Hope we see you Friday.